I'm on the phone.
Let's see.
That's nuts. Mama's room.
We got
No.
all right. One we always go to is Genesis chapter 49, verse 14.
Genesis 49:14.
Come.
Is that for the question I asked, or?
Yeah, for Issachar.
Is that what we just? All right. 1 second. I ain't got no pen in my hands. It's kind of full.
All right.
But go ahead.
Just let me know when you're ready.
You can go ahead, out of one. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, my hands kind of.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and read that, Amawan.
This is the first scripture, 49:14.
Con. Genesis 49:14.
Yeah, Genesis 49, verse 14. Issachar is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens.
Right. That's one description of one of the 12 tribes. It goes and it breaks down the descriptions of certain brothers. You got Simeon and Levi, our brethren, and instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. All right. Simeon and Levi are the so-called Dominicans and the Haitians. If anybody knows about the Dominican Republic and Haiti, they're on the same island. So Simeon and Levi are brothers in cruelty. They're always getting into it with each other. They're always getting into each other. That's why it says instruments of cruelty are in their hands. And also it's talking about voodoo and Santeria. It's another form of voodoo that the Dominicans use. All right. But when you go down to Issachar, the description of Issachar is a strong ass. We know our so-called Mexican brothers are a strong people. They work 12, 14-hour days, 2 jobs, non-stop hustling and grinding. And we always know these deceivers, the oppressors here in America, always have something to say about Issachar.
You told me I don't need them.
So like it. They always have something to say about Issachar coming here and stealing jobs. But they're doing jobs that half of these oppressors would never even think of doing. Working in the fields, working in the hot sun. These devils can't even work in the sun. It's like when you really think about it, our people have worked out there, especially Issachar, for hundreds of years, for little to nothing. And that is one of the biggest enemies to the oppressor, is the goddamn sun. They can't even go outside without having sunblock. It is destroying them. All right? So Issachar is a strong ass. That's why their animal that represents them is a donkey. And you think about that. What are Issachar known? One of their most famous foods. One is the taco. One is the burrito. And if you know what a burrito stands for in Spanish, it's burro. What is a burro? Burro is a donkey, because they're known for stacking on lots of heavy weights on top of these donkeys and these mules, and making them go long trips. All right. And we got another one for the northern tribes. This precept is in 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 45. Matter of fact, you can start at verse 40, I believe.
What was that again? I didn't hear it.
2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40.
Yeah.
Second Ezra.
Okay, Second Ezra.
Yep.
2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 40. And I took it and drank, and when I had drunk of it,
Like
my heart uttered.
Drop back one. It's actually chapter 13.
Oh, 13, okay.
13, verse 40.
Okay, Salakia. 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanasar, king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried away them over the water, and so came they into another land.
Right. So this is talking about the 10 tribes, the northern kingdom. We all know there was a split after King Solomon, where the northern tribes went to civil war with the southern tribes. And the southern tribes consisted mainly of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. This is where you get the term Jew from, is because the southern tribe was mostly comprised of the tribe of Judah, along with Benjamin, and Levi was the priest tribe, and they didn't have an inheritance of any land. So the land that they were living in was considered the land of Judah, all right? And so the northern tribes, they were taken into captivity first. The reason why they were taken into captivity first is because the Bible says that they started to worship other gods first. They started to follow these other deities and were making statues in high places and burning incense to these other gods. So their first leaders and kings took their people into other religions, worshiping other gods or powers other than Yahweh the Most High. So they were taken away to captivity first into Assyria. And when they were taken into this other land, you can drop down to verse 40. Just keep reading to verse 41. We're going to go through.
Yeah. Verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country. Whenever mankind dwelt.
Right, whenever mankind dwelt. This is the area that we know as North, Central, and South America. These people said, we're going to go away from the heathen and go to a land where no one has dwelt. This was called the New World by Christopher Columbus and the heathens that came to the Americas. All right, read verse 42.
Verse 42. That they might there keep their statues, which they never kept in their own land.
Right. So they're saying now we understand how important these laws, statutes, and commandments are, because we went into captivity for not following the Lord's instruction. So we're gonna try to start anew. It's just like somebody that said, hey, we're gonna move, we're gonna have a new start, we're gonna act right, let's get away from here. We see the consequences and repercussions of how we were acting. Let's try this out. And keep going.
Okay, verse 43. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow place of the river.
Right. Keep going.
44. For the most For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Right. And verse 45.
45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Aseret.
Right. So it took them a year and a half journey to get to this other far off land. And if you hop on a boat, you get on a ship and you travel from the Middle East, it is about a year and a half's journey. And so this was recorded in the Bible that the 10 northern tribes had left long before the other southern tribes, which would be Judah, came to this land so-called America during the transatlantic slave period. So that's another quick scripture. There's a few more to go to for Issachar. I believe there's one in Numbers. I was just reading this the other day. So like I think you go to Numbers chapter 20, 25, 26. Numbers 6 and verse 23. These are the three that I know that help describe Issachar and the northern tribes. And I can send those to you.
Salaki, who was that saying Salaki?
Numbers 26 and 23.
Oh, that was me. I had a question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Now, when the northern tribes came over, was that walking, or was it with ships?
That was on ships.
Okay.
Yeah, it said they passed through the waters. All right, you got that precept, Amor?
All right. Numbers 26 and 23. Of the sons of Issachar after their families of Tola, the family of the Tolites, of Pua, the families of the Punites.
Right. And so when you go into this word Tola, Tola is spelled right here, T-O-L-A. And if you watch Officer Kazakia, he gives breakdowns about the tribe of Issachar. There's lands in Mexico. There's a city that I believe the Aztecs I believe it was the Aztecs, that their main king, his name was Tola, and they built a city that is here to this day that is called Tola. And I believe they have T-O-L-L-A. But this is how they named their cities in Mexico after their forefathers. And this is one of the forefathers that was living in Mexico. And they still have a land to this day, I believe, that is considered, or a city that's considered Tola, that comes from one of their ancestors. And so this is the lineage of Issachar in the Bible, and it's showing that one of their forefathers, his name was Tola, and he had children that were considered the Tolites.
Where we at again in Numbers?
Numbers
26 and 23.
Yeah, Numbers 26 and 23. And so, like I said, for time's sake, those are a few that I got between Issachar and then the northern kingdom. Also, with the descendants of Issachar, Tola was one of the prominent sons. He had a big family, and this is why they say the Tolites. Everything is an ite. If you go through here, all these names are broken down into different ites, meaning the same way we say Israelites. If you are the son of this person, you are this ite. Issacharite, Tolite. If you are son of Judah, Judite, and so forth and so on. All right? So with that, we're going to go ahead and get into class. Unless there's any other questions or comments any brother has, I'm going to go ahead and read what the ISUPK is about. All right?
Salaki.
Go ahead.
just as a reminder, we want anybody to have any questions, please just, keeping things in order, just say Salakia first before you say anything. So just to, keep everything in order. So go ahead.
Right. Yeah, that's right. We want to keep everything in decency order. Like the brother said, just say Salakia, wait till you get a go ahead, and then go ahead with your question. All right. In the ISUPK, we are educating Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians about their true heritage, which is comprised of the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Once our people begin to follow the laws in the Bible, God, or Yahweh in the Hebrew, will look down from heaven and have mercy on us. He will also send Christ to free us from our oppression. Using the Bible, the ISUPK will fix all the problems of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities, all right? Turning a lawless and immoral people into a law-abiding, righteous people. The true nationality of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, and West Indians of North, Central, and South America are the true descendants of the lost tribes of the nation of Israel. And Jesus Christ, or Yahweh Shai Mashiach, is their king. All right? You can find that on the ISUPK website. All right, let's get it, Israel. Tonight's topic is Wednesday night law class. And for Wednesday night law class, one of the precepts in the Bible, it says to never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy. And that's a very important precept. It's something that we need to learn as Black and Hispanics here in hell in America. Because we've been taught everything opposite of that. To trust our enemies, to love our enemies. In the Willie Lynch papers, it says that they want us to distrust our people and to only trust the slave master. That is a key building block of white supremacy. And in order to combat it, the first step to winning a war is you have to know who your enemy is. You have to understand who the opposition is. Could you imagine playing a basketball game and you scoring in the wrong goal? You passing the ball to the other team? I mean, if you did it one time, how would your teammates look at you? If you passed the ball to the other team, or you took the ball and ran the other way and dunked the ball in their goal, how would your teammates look at you? Anybody on the phone? Just say Salaki.
Salaki. They look at you like, what are you doing, man?
Right.
Salaki.
Go ahead.
You with us or you with them?
Hold on, Tazabah. Go ahead. I'm in one. Finish.
I said they would look at you like, what are you doing, man? You with us or you with them?
Right. Is that it? For you, I'm one?
God.
Okay, go ahead, Tazabah.
They're going to look at you like you out your damn mind.
Right.
That's how I would look.
It's like, what are you doing? And then you see it in sports. This happens. Or a football player and got hit and picked up the ball and ran the wrong direction. Don't let it be the game-winning score. You're going to want to kick that person off the team. You're going to look at them like, what type of drugs are you on where you're not aware? What do they call it? They call it a presence of mind. In sports, they say you're supposed to have a presence of mind at all times. Being conscious, being aware of what you're doing, where the ball is, where the defense is at, where this is going on, you know what I'm saying, where the lines are at so you don't go out of bounds, how much time is on the clock, all these things you're supposed to keep in the front of your mind while you're doing your job and your task. Our people as a nation, Black and Hispanics, we have been scoring for the other team for over 400 years. We've been putting the ball in the wrong bucket for over 400 years, and we don't see anything wrong with it. And when the coach comes and tries to check you about it, when the priests and prophets come and tell you what you're doing is wrong, you yelling at the coach. You yelling at General Yohana. You cursing out the priests and prophets because we telling you you scoring for the wrong team, dumb. You have on a different jersey than them. What is going through your head? So like I said, we're going to get into these precepts. You got to know who your enemy is, man. You got to know who you're fighting against. Because if you don't, you're going to make not only yourself be a loser, but your entire team be a team of losers. All right? So let's bring out Psalms chapter. Matter of fact, let's go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. Baba Kasha.
God. Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
And the first came out red all over. We all know they love to call our brothers from the tribe of Gad and Reuben, the so-called Native American Indians, they call them the Redskins. They call them the Indians, the Savages, the Redskins. There's a team called the Washington Redskins. But our native brothers are not red, man. They're shades of brown. From dark brown to light brown. The real red man is Esau. And they know they're red too, because in the South, what do they call themselves? Rednecks. When they get out in that sun, they turn red. Just like I said, that's their biggest enemy is the sun right now. The sun is the only thing that's out here really fighting against Esau, because everybody else has turned their tail. The sun and the priests and prophets of the ISUPK, I'll say that. But everybody else has turned their tail and tucked their tail when it comes to Esau. So this is the first description of Esau. There's another precept where it says that the elder, matter of fact, go up to verse 23 real quick.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and that the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Right. So they're saying it's 2 nations. They came out of one womb, but this is 2 different type of people, 2 manner of people, and one shall be stronger than the other. When you think about the Negro League, they had in baseball, we were dominating the Negro League until they integrated with Jackie Robinson. But what's the difference? The baseball league is still dominated by black and Hispanics. The only thing they integrated was the money. They integrated the money from our community into theirs. You watch baseball, basketball, football. We're stronger. We're the ones dominating all these sports. And strength doesn't just mean physical attributes as well, man. We've gone through the harshest conditions, the worst atrocities known to mankind, and we still keep going. They say we took oppression, we took all of those things, and we made hip-hop. When a white man experiences any type of lack of control or lack of freedom, quote unquote, they're ready to kill themselves, kill everybody, become completely suicidal. They lose their job, the stock market goes down, they go on postal. It was a term in the 90s. Some of the younger brothers might not know about the word postal. But if you was around in the 90s, you know there was an actual word to describe people that were working for the U.S. Post Office and got fed up and would go in there and shoot the boss, the secretary, their co-workers, everybody in the building, then shoot themselves. They were going postal. It happened so many times, it became an actual word. All right? So these are the description. They are weaker than black and Hispanics and Native Indians and West Indians. it's not just physical strength, it's mental strength and mental fortitude as well. All right. And also back in verse 25, when it says Esau was hairy all over like a hairy garment, they talk about Bigfoot running around in the woods. It's probably just some damn tall Edomite devil running around with no clothes on, man, because they're hairy all over like a garment. And we start to forget these things because when you see them, when you see their women, when you see their men, they're groomed. They're in their domesticated state. But don't catch them without being able to go to the barber, without being able to get a razor. You'll start to see the hair all over their back, all over everywhere, man. You know, because that's one of the characteristics of all oppressors. All right. So let's go on to the next script. We're going to go to Psalms chapter 137, verse 3.
Block it.
Go ahead.
I just want to, what you said was so heavy. I just want to emphasize when you're saying they kill themselves, you know, just on the pandemic that's going on, they had a nurse that killed herself that worked in the hospital that was seeing all these deaths in the pandemic thing, and she killed herself. You know what I'm saying? She a nurse seeing all this death going on. She couldn't handle it, just like you was mentioning a couple seconds ago, and she killed herself. You know, as a nurse seeing all these deaths through the coronavirus. So, you know what you're saying? You know what I'm saying? It's happening right now, pretty much.
Right. Exactly. I remember hearing about that story as well. And, you know, it was Jeremiah Hyman was talking about that, I believe, on Black Watch. He was saying she's not even killing herself because she got corona, but because she's watching our people die from corona, or our family members go through this situation. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The Lord has a whole lot more curses, a whole lot more plagues coming this way. And we're going to see a whole lot more of that going on as well. It's going to be raining white men in New York. You know, they're going to be jumping off. They said, what is the name of that movie? White Men Can't Jump. Well, we're going to find out they can jump. Because the more and more these plays coming, they're going to wish they were never born. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're going to be jumping straight out the building to lock.
Right. All right. Next precept, Psalms chapter 137, verse 3. Baba Kashab.
God.
Like I said, we're going to go into the psychology, too, of this oppressor. I got a few articles I'm going to skim through and run through and bring out some information as we go back and forth through these precepts.
Psalm chapter 137, you said verse 3?
Con.
Psalm chapter 137, verse 3. For there they that carried us away captives required of us a song, that they wasted us, with mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion.
Right. So it's talking about when Israel was carried into captivity at this time, but this description is the same spirit of Esau. They wanted to hear a song from us required. They demanded. It's just like those movies when they show you in the Westerns when they take out their gun and they start shooting at the ground and they start saying, dance, dance. You understand me? Sing and dance. It's entertainment. It's something that brings happiness to a sick and demented person. Somebody you would consider a psychopath or a narcissist or someone that has a Machiavellian mentality. And I'm going to bring those things out. But this is why they were doing this. They said, and they wanted us to bring a song of mirth. Does anybody on the phone know what mirth is? I guess that's a lie.
I hope.
I want to say a song of what, despair?
La.
Salaki.
Go ahead.
I believe it's an incense.
No, you're talking about frankincense and myrrh. This is mirth. Mirth is Mirth. It's saying sing a song of mirth. And I'm looking here, it's not in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, but the answer is a song of happiness, of gladness. Sing us a cheerful song. Sing one of them happy Negro spirituals about how God is good to you. Sing us one of them songs about how great it is in the ghetto, in the barrio. I remember being in New Orleans. I'm out there and we met this Edomite, me and my homeboy from the Bay Area. And this dude, he's trying to bond with us. We met him on the fly. I don't know what he was talking about. He was a rapper or whatever, man. He was just trying to do some type of deals and network with us. But he says, you know, I like that real hip hop. The hip hop songs about the struggle. And that's what I like to listen to. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about all the glitz and glamour and all that type of stuff. I like to hear songs about the struggle. And that it went straight over my head, man. And when I got to talking to my partner later, he pointed it out to me. He said, you hear that goddamn devil talking about he likes to hear songs about the struggle? Like our pain and suffering is entertainment to him. That's something that brings joy to him. Like he think he identifying with us, he gonna get some cool points. He talking about he wants to hear about how your mom is on crack, how Brenda got a baby and left her baby in the toilet. Like that, it brings pleasure to him. That's our pain and suffering. They want to hear the joyousness of our life, even though we're in here suffering. And so read verse 4.
Verse 4. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
Right. How do you want us to talk about how great it is to be a goddamn slave? That's the same thing. A famous gospel singer, what was her name? Mahalia Jackson. They would prop her up at events for the president and inaugurations and have her sing these gospel songs, and they just adore her beautiful voice. When her people are in Jim Crow South, they're getting lynched every day. They want to have Whitney Houston come up and sing the national anthem and adore her beautiful voice and cry tears while her family members are in the penitentiaries, or our brothers and sisters are locked out of America at the borders, going into gang warfare, Bloods and Crips killing each other, GDs and Vice Lords going to war with each other all over the country, and they want to look at Whitney Houston and say how beautiful a voice she has. That's the same thing. The people that are writing this in songs are saying, how in the hell can we sing a beautiful song about our home country, about our Zion, Israel, about the Lord, when we're over here suffering, all right? But this is another characteristic of Esau. They get high off of that. They get a feeling of superiority when they see you in your lower state, still wanting to dance and sing and jigaboo and tap dance. We always bring this out at camp, that there's a brother across the way that doesn't have a dollar to his name, and all he can do is beat on some empty buckets. And we see these rich devils come and throw quarters into his bucket, throw $1 into his bucket, and then they turn around and want to talk against the priests and prophets of the Lord. They rather see you sing and dance. That's always been their character. They want you to entertain them, all right? So with that, let's go to Isaiah chapter. Go ahead.
Man, what you're saying is super heavy, man, because even in our tragedy, even in our, they're trying over us. They want us to be, they want us to be in the high spirit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't celebrate, we can't mourn our people. You know what I'm saying? We have to, mourning our people is being happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's most of the reason, one of the reasons why when these Christian churches, someone die, you know, it's called homecoming. You know, everybody happy and, you know, so to speak for the most part. But even in our downtrodden state and being trotted over, they want us to be high spirited and, you know, and you know, don't show us no remorse. You know what I'm saying? Don't show us that you in a bad state. You know, they want you to show, you know, how happy you are. You know what I'm saying? To show a happy, high spirited, and you be in a high spirit, you know, in a high spirit thing. But you know, because I know John Maheim was talking about that, and it was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Even in our tragedies, you know, we have to be high spirited. So I just want to bring that in too as well.
That's right. That's very true, man. It's demanded of us. It's almost like, dare you that we gave you niggas clothes. How dare you not appreciate you got electricity? You can walk on paved roads. These things, and when you get beat down in such a slave mentality, our people, we start to believe this. If you ever try to get a group of black people together and tell them that they can be great, the first thing somebody's gonna raise their hand and say is, oh, Negroes can't come together. Negroes will tear that thing down. Negroes will destroy each other. We have a crab in a barrel mentality. That's another big one. Black people, Hispanic people have a crab in the barrel mentality. Man, not in the truth, you start to think the same way. But you're not realizing you're starting to believe that the reality that you see of our people is something innate to us, something that's in our DNA that makes us crabs in the barrel, that makes us tear down our own neighborhoods, that makes us, we're born crack dealers. That's how they treat us. That's how we start to look at ourselves. And one of the deepest things I saw, I think it was, I can't remember who it was in the school, but the island one brought it out. He said, you so worried about us talking about being crabs in the barrel. For one, where is a crab's natural habitat? It's in the ocean. Crabs are native to the ocean, man. How the hell did they get in the bucket in the first place? The bucket's not their home. They trying to get out of the bucket because they're captive. That's why we have this mentality, man, of pulling each other down, because we're in a bucket. That whole concept doesn't even make sense. Crabs aren't doing that in the ocean. We're not doing this in our own land with our own laws and our own statutes, our own culture. That's not our characteristics. The reason why we're pulling each other down is because we're in a goddamn bucket in the first place, man. All right? And so let's get into these next scripture. Man, go ahead.
That right there was real heavy right there, man. God damn. That was that was extremely heavy. And that goes off the topic of that brother. I don't know if you completely heard that interview we did today. I'll speed it up, but when he was asking the question, posing the question about blacks being in the position that they're in, and then he basically spoke about Chicago. He said, with Michael Jordan and Oprah Winfrey coming from Chicago, how the hell could Chicago still be in the state that it's in? With them making all the money that they make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they cared about the people in Chicago.
Right.
Lucky, that was Craig Hodges.
God, yep. Someone God.
Yeah, that's real heavy.
Right.
That crab's in a bucket. I'm gonna have to use that one. Go ahead. I mean, I'm done. Sir.
Go ahead.
What Kasar was saying was super heavy. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying. That's part of Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? You know, you being part of mass murder, and they want you to sing a song. You know, to be in a up spirit beat. You know what I'm saying? Up spirit. You know, and gladness. You know what I'm saying? That's part of Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? You being with your oppressor, somebody that's holding you against your will. You know, and then they asking you to sing a song of gladness, you know what I'm saying? So that's how you start loving, you know what I'm saying? Start having feelings for the people that's got you in captivity, you know?
Right. You
start having feelings and saying, oh, he let me sing a song and go to the bathroom. You know, now, he ain't too bad, you know what I'm saying? He let me use the bathroom. You know, that's a form of Stockholm syndrome. That's what Stockholm syndrome was, pretty much the birth of Stockholm syndrome, where your captors have you, and you start loving your captors just by them letting you do something that that they feel is a glad thing for us. You know what I'm saying? So basically, that's what I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, their reward system, if I may. I'm done. Go ahead.
Right. Keep going if you got more.
That was I mean, that Stockholm, based on what you said, that definitely ties into what you said. And once again, I just got to say, man, how the hell the crabs get there anyway? You know what I mean?
Right.
That ain't where they, and that's the state of black people. Why the hell are we against each other? Because we confined to a small, poverty-stricken area.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't naturally us. You know what I mean? We brothers like to spread their wings, man.
Right.
Brothers like to get out. Brothers like to go out and navigate. We hunters. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we confine to a small space, then you gonna get exactly the thing that you just brought out. The crabs in the barrel that don't belong there, and we don't belong in a small area. And just like Muhammad brought out, and that was real heavy. The police ain't here for black people. The police is here to protect everybody else from blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Which means once you get out of your bucket and you try to get back in the ocean, the police is there to put you back in the bucket.
Good night. There you go. That's right, man. They're here to police us. Not police us. They're here to police us. You know what I'm saying? They're not here to protect you. They're protecting them, like he said, to keep us in that bucket and to keep us from getting free, man. And so, yeah, man, you put brothers in the projects, even the words. That's how you know he's a goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. Call them the projects alone. Who came up with that? You really think the word it's a project. It's an experiment. We're going to cram a bunch of people, give them no money, put them in these small rooms on top of each other, and we're going to watch the fireworks happen, you know? And so lock it. But we're going to go to the next precept, Officer Armor One. If you could pull me Genesis 27 and 41, and then I'm going to go ahead after that and read some of these articles about the title of tonight's class is Esau is a nation of narcissistic deceivers, man. We're going to bring that out.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessings wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob.
Ooh, wee. And I will what? Then I will what?
Slay my brother Jacob.
Right. Esau hated Jacob. Why? Because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. So not only can we take this on the literal level of Esau and his brother Jacob, Jacob was the one that got the blessing. All right? Jacob supplanted Esau. And not only did he get the blessing, but you can look at it as our heavenly Father blessed the nation of Israel. And that's the kind of spite, the kind of hate. What do they call it? I mean, what's the word? We came up with a word in the 90s and the 80s, player hater, man. They are player haters, man. They really hate to see somebody else doing good. Go ahead, Tazaba.
Yeah, and that's a heavy script right now because, you know, Esau is playing us today. You know what I'm saying? They jealous of us today. They see what we're doing today on the basketball court. They see what we're doing today on the you know what I'm saying, on the football field. You know what I'm saying? Right. They see how you know what I'm saying, bold and talented black folks is. They just like the scripture say, they jealous of our blessings from the Most High. And again, just like the scripture says, he said he will slay his brother. So you already see, you know what I'm saying, if you look on social media or you know what I'm saying, anywhere but the news, you see us getting slayed in the street. You see us getting hunted down by Esau. You know what I'm saying? Shot for nothing, man. Shot for just jogging in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that Esau is doing to us that is documented right here in the Bible that happens to us today. It's our situation right now. And that's it.
That's right. That's right, man.
That's right.
What the brother's bringing out is heavy. I'm going to go ahead and read this definition of this word, narcissist. All right? We know that they are a nation of narcissists. And what does the word narcissist mean? Narcissist is a person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. A disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self-importance. All right? And it even goes on to say narcissistic personality disorder is found more commonly in men. The cause is unknown, but likely involves a combination of genetic and environmental factors. So not only do we teach that the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, man, he's also the narcissistic person. You know what I'm saying? And it's showing you right here. All right. So I'm also going to read some traits. I got a few different things I'm going to run through really quickly. Bear with me. Baba Kashah. All of these tie in together. One of them I was looking up is a Machiavellian. Everybody knows Tupac started to call himself Machiavelli before he died. All right. And where does he get this name from? There was a man in the 1400s, in the early 1500s. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli, and he wrote a book called The Prince. And in this book is a book that is mandatory if you want to become a politician. Does anybody over the phone have any? I know when Tupac came out, a lot of people started to look into it. Anybody have any quick comments about Machiavelli? I know they heard the name. Does anybody know anything about him on the phone? If not, I'll go ahead and break this information down real quickly. It's actually a book brothers should check out. Like they say, man, you want to know your enemy and the mind states of your enemy. In this book, it was called The Prince. Basically, he's writing a letter to a leader, and he's trying to give him game on how to be a leader. You're a prince. A prince is also a king as well. He said you're in charge. In order to be in charge, you're going to have this certain characteristics. And so that's what Tupac was, in his mind, studying these devils and trying to figure out how to think like them and rule his people or his nation using some of the same tactics. And that's how he was going to war with Biggie Smalls and all this East Coast rivalry. He's using some of these tactics. But here it goes. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith. By doing so, it would be against his interest." So they shouldn't believe in anything. Don't believe in anything. If you believe that there's a higher power and he's going to judge you for doing wrong, It'll stop you from doing what you need to do to get your power. A prince never lacks good reason to break his promise. There is never a good reason to break your promise. You'll do it at the drop of a dime. And where do we learn that? How did Esau do that with our native Indian brothers? These treaties they made. Oh, we promise we'll give you this. We promise we'll build that. We promise you 40 acres and a mule, black man. We promise that you can have this land. And what do? Every single time they broke the promise. Why? Because they have a Machiavellian mentality. Because they study this book, that this is how you gain power if you're going to be a wicked and deceiving bastard. All right? According to Machiavelli, honesty and all other virtues are expendable if deceit, treachery, and force would be more expedient. Why be honest? Why be humble? Why be kind-hearted when you need to use deceit, when you need to use treachery and force? That is going to help you become more powerful. In short, he would argue people in positions of power should choose to be, well, Machiavellian, even if it's not their natural leadership style. All right? In psychology, Machiavellianism refers to a personality type that does not choose to be, but simply is a master manipulator. It's in their character. They don't even choose. Somebody is just, you don't even have to get taught this. They just something that makes them come out like this. Machiavellians do not need to read The Prince to acquire a knack for duplicity. Duplicity is like double-minded, saying one thing and doing something else. All right, the Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. The poster boy for Machiavelli would be Donald Trump, would be Adolf Hitler. If you have these men in your mind, this is who they're talking about. All right? They are temperamentally predisposed to be calculating, conniving, and deceptive. Essentially amoral. They don't have any morals. All right? They use other people as stepping stones to reach their goals. From a Machiavellian's perspective, if we allow ourselves to be used, we probably deserve it. Or there's a sucker born every minute. So they're saying if black people, Hispanic people gonna work and they're gonna give their life to us, then they probably deserve it. Because they suckers. They don't deserve to have freedom. They don't deserve to have the blessings that the Lord gave them, because they're gonna let us come and take it. All right, I'm gonna skip down a little bit more. Let me see. This test includes statements such as these for people to agree or disagree with. If you want to figure out if this person is acting like this is something that they believe. The best way to handle people is to tell them what they want to hear. What does America say? This is the land of the free. This is the land where you have unlimited opportunity. The American dream. That's what people want to hear. Is it the reality? No. Can you become what you want to become? No. We have a prison system ready for you to go to. We told you as a little boy, you're going to be a football star. You're going to be a basketball star. Every movie you watch, people got these big homes and everybody's living great. You know what I mean? Even me as a kid, I used to think that just as soon as you become an adult, you're going to be living in a loft somewhere, because everybody that's an adult on movies and TV living in a loft. Even though I'm living in the ghetto and we live in 8, 10 family members in one household, gunshots around the corner, my auntie on crack next door, graffiti on the walls. But in my mind, watching these movies, I'm thinking I'm just gonna grow up one day and live in a $1 million home like everybody on TV, because that's the American dream they selling you. That's what you want to hear. It says it is wise to flatter important people. We're going to talk about how great Michael Jordan is, how great this person is. You're using that as a way to come up, as your way to deceive people. And let's see. The biggest difference between most criminals and other people is that criminals are stupid enough to get caught. They don't have a moral compass. They really don't care about crime. We notice day in and day out. They tell you they're a law and order nation, that they care about crime. But why are they only busting the person that's stealing from the liquor store? Why is it they only getting the low-level drug dealers when Chase Bank sent in over $1 billion of cocaine to America? You don't care about real crime. You don't want to get the stock market man that stole $20 million. You want to knock Jamal over the head for stealing a goddamn Snickers bar. You want to shoot this brother in the back jogging in Georgia because you think he burglarized somebody's home. All right? This is what's going on with our people. They don't care about real crime. All right? And let me see, is there anything else? Man, this stuff is deep. That's pretty much it on that. But that's some more characteristics of Esau. Let's see if we bring out one more scripture really quickly. Salakia. Let's go to Malachi 1, chapter 1, verse 3. And while you're getting that up, I'm going to pull out 7 characteristics of a psychopath. So hold that. These are other words, man. These words, you look into these definitions, it's not just one person. That's how Esau likes to do our people. We always focus on these isolated incidences. A brother in the school posted a post on Facebook. He said that women or men that come from single-parent mothers make bad choices when it comes to their partners. And then a fake Israelite came on there in the comments, that's not true. I know people that come from this situation, and I know that. And that reminded me of a teacher when I was in school, and he made a statement. He said, people that come from single-parent households, their children are more likely to not graduate from high school. They're more likely to go to prison, and so forth and so on. And, you know, I went to school in the South, and the country girl, she raised up her hand. She said, well, I come from a single-parent home, and I'm successful. He said, yes, I know, sweetheart. Teacher was a real jerk. He was an asshole, so lock it. But he was like, I know, sweetheart, but we're talking about science right here. Science is based on generalization. We're not based off of your isolated incidents. We're basing this off of the majority. Yes, you might be the one that made it. There might be another one that you know that made it. But in general, the majority of them are like this. And so that's how you got to deal. They'll tell you there was one psychopath that wanted to kill JFK or wanted to shoot up the church in North Carolina. All right? And they blame it on him like he's just a solo individual. But I'm saying the nation of Esau as a whole, how they're treating the world, they're a nation of psychopaths. Their whole mentality is psychopathic because it's not, oh, just one person has been hurt by this one individual or a few people have been hurt. Millions of people have died at the hands of this nation of people. Billions of people are suffering at the hands of these people, and they act completely like a psychopath. So one, the first thing, if you want to know if someone is a psychopath, they are a pathological liar and manipulation. So what do we say? Devil means deceiver. They are natural deceivers, pathological lying. They can't help but to lie. They can't help but to, even when they tell you the truth, it's the result of a double lie, man. Even when they tell you the truth, it's the result of a double lie. Even if they give you a little bit of information, they'll tell you something real. They'll tell you, okay, the sky is blue. But why are they telling you that? Then they back it up with some, the sky is blue, but you niggas never get up there. You'll never become a pilot. You ain't gonna see it. You know what I mean? It's always coming with another reason and manipulation. All right. A person that's psychopathic in their desire for ever more power over relationships, organizations, or society at large, they would literally make up and say anything in order to achieve their aims. Blatant lies, distortions, deceptions, broken promises, and blaming the victim are just some of the common devices used to enable a socio or psychopath to advance his or aggressive and unscrupulous schemes. So on a small example, Dylan Roof, he's going to say, he's going to distort blatant lies. Black people are thieves. Black people are criminals. But we know who's the biggest criminal. He's going to say what? Deception. They're trying to take over our country. Cracker, this country is not yours. You understand me? And what else does it say? Blaming the victim. Then they start to blame the person that they killed. Oh, I had to go into this church and murder 9 innocent people because they're preaching hate against our race. They're talking about taking over through love and peace and holding hand. Whatever it is, they have to use these devices to push their agenda. All right. Number 2, sign of a psychopath: lack of morality and rule breaking. Most people have a basic sense of right and wrong. We know that when we talk, in my stance, I'm talking about Black Hispanics and Native Indians. They have a basic sense of right and wrong. In general, however, sociopaths have little or no sense of morality. They are more inclined than the general population to violate human rights or have brushes with the law. They may believe that might is right and rules are meant to be broken. Human and ethical considerations are abhorred and viewed as weaknesses. It's like the definition of the villain in the movie. You care about other people. You see this baby drowning in the water at the border, and you think something is wrong. You are weak. There's something wrong with you. You should laugh at that. You should glorify in that Native Indian that whose head we cut off, who we scalped. You should laugh and joke at those lynchings of those people hanging in those trees. Look at that nigga hanging from a tree. Look how his neck wiggled. That's strength to them. They glorifying that. All right. Number 3, Jerome Hyman always talks about this: a lack of empathy and cold-heartedness. They can't feel. To see someone else go through something else, they don't understand it. Our people suffering, it doesn't make any sense. It's like talking to a wall. When you see other people suffering, they have no feeling for it. All right. Let's go. I got a couple more. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, this is a big one right here. Knowing the suffering of their victims does not bring about an ethical pause. Actually, just the opposite. It may encourage the sociopath or psychopath to do more harm, for they feel like they're winning. So this right here, to me, sounds like the civil rights, where Martin Luther King said, I'm going to bring a sense of humanity to our oppressors when they see us getting dog sicked on our women and children, spraying us with fire hoses. That's supposed to make them stop doing it. But what it really did was make them feel like they're winning. We really got these niggas in submission now. Let's turn it up. Let's put crack into their community. Let's put heroin in their community. Let's lock them all up. Let's push this agenda. Turn their women into whores. Push the feminist movement in their communities. Separate their households. We can do more. Turn it up. They're so weak right now that they're begging us to accept them. We might as well go full forward. Put the pedal to the metal. All right. And that, no, there is another one. I'm gonna read one more out of this, and I'll get back into the script, so lock it. But lack of contrition and self-serving victimhood. Contrition. When someone is contrite, that means they're apologetic. That's showing contrition. You're willing to apologize for what you did wrong. A sociopath, psychopath, or oppressor, they lack any contrition. They are not gonna apologize for killing 70 million Native Indians. They're not gonna apologize for killing over 99 million so-called Black Americans. They'll never do it. Why? When caught in the act with their unscrupulous behavior, most sociopaths and psychopaths will show no signs of contrition or remorse unless it's strategically advantageous for them to do so. So yeah, they might say they apologize, but they really don't apologize because they're gonna keep doing the same thing. And on the contrary, they are more likely to double or triple down on their aggressive tendencies, increase hostility, deny responsibility, accuse and blame others, and maintain a facade of arrogance and conceit. Interestingly, many sociopaths will invent a victimhood story for themselves. They start to say, and this is what Esau was doing right there when we read it in Genesis. Esau sold his blessings for a morsel of meat, and now he wants to be the victim and get mad at Jacob. This blessing came from the Lord when Isaac blessed Jacob. Rebekah knew this was going to happen. It came to her before they were even born. But you want to be the victim now, and you want to go against your brother because of the way things are. And they do it all the time on Fox News. You want me to feel guilty for what my forefathers did? You want us to feel guilty for slavery? That had nothing to do with that. They have this thing called affirmative action. They're making us lose our jobs. That's the same thing. We're the victims. These Mexicans, these dirty Mexicans are coming to our country. Wrong, not your country. Stealing our jobs. Wrong. They're really working to make you more wealthy. They're going to rape our women. Wrong. You're the most people that rape and abuse your women. Harvey Weinstein. You understand me? They're the real rapists. They're the real robbers. They're the real drug dealers. But they're going to make it seem like they're the victims. We have an opioid addiction. Well, who has the factory developing all these opioids? You do, Mr. Esau. All right? So that's something else, man. I digress on that point. But I just wanted to bring that information out. But when you start to really go into, that's something that General Muhammad is excellent at. It's something I learned. But he just does it. He don't just read it out, man. I got to read some of this stuff out, you know. But he understands the psychology of these oppressors, man. And you really understand, once you understand how they think, you can combat and fight against these things that they do because you'll know how to see it coming. And the last example I give, what Muhammad brought out, was saying that they say they're patriotic. They say they love America. They don't love America. As soon as America doesn't do anything they like, they grabbing guns and going to the Capitol building. They're ready to kill soldiers. They're ready to kill police officers. They're ready to kill government officials. They don't care, man. But if you think and believe the things that they say and don't understand their tactics and don't understand the mindset of a psychopath or a Machiavelli, then it'll turn you into a coon. That's why our people are coons, because they're not studying the enemy. They're believing everything they're told. This is a land of opportunity. We are a shiftless people. We're destroying the ghetto. Black people are the problem. We're the number one enemy, and so forth and so on. All right? So, Salagi, let's go ahead and bring that out in Malachi, chapter 1, verse 3 through 4.
All right. Karen, like I just want to say a piece saying about the lies.
What's that?
I want to say a precept on what you were saying about lies.
All right, go ahead.
58 and 3. Wicked are estranged from the womb.
One more time, so lock it. It's that time of the day, man, so lock it.
The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be bored, speaking lies.
Right.
You know, what you're saying about how they, you know what I'm saying, they come out the room speaking lies, you know what I'm saying? So that just goes right along with what you were saying about narcissistic addicts, you know, they're, you know, how they are, and they're, what was the word you used? They're, explaining them, damn, you just said the word, but, you know, that's, you know, they come out speaking lies, you know what I'm saying? Almost like that's embedded in them, you know what I'm saying? Coming out the womb speaking lies.
Yep. That's the Bible, man. It's telling you the truth, man, from birth. And the other one in L.A., the Walker Bar, he said this as well. He said, we think you see one that's nice to our people and one that helps us out. You see one good one, and you think that is gives you hope for them. He said, you need to look at that like that's a defect. Like that is a retarded trait or something that's like how what would be a defect if somebody was born with a cleft lip, that's not normal. You know, if somebody was born with a messed up arm, that doesn't happen all the time. You know, that's what a nice Edomite is. They're not the normal. They're the majority are by birth liars and deceivers. All right. So let's go into Malachi chapter 1, verse 3 through 4. And I got a couple more for time's sake, and we're going to close out the class.
Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains wait for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Most High of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall be called, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High has indignation forever.
Right. So it's saying, for one, and I hated Esau. The Lord hated Esau. So that's another one where they say the Lord doesn't hate. He says they want to return and build the desolate places. But they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. If you read in the Zonda Van Dictionary, Compact Bible Dictionary, it says that Esau, or the nation of Edom, is the only nation in the Bible that says they will not receive any mercy from the Lord. All right? They're going to get eradicated from the face of the earth after going into captivity. All right? And so that is a hope in us, because our people start to believe that the man is so impossible for us to defeat, so impossible for us to overcome, that we throw in the towel as well. And you get the mentality of Slakia. You can't beat them, join them. You want to mimic the ways of them. And that's why they always say this thing is, oh, we got to play the game. You got to play the game if you want to help your people. No, la'ah. You don't have to go into their politics and play their games and use deceit and treachery and lies. All you have to do is follow the laws, statutes, and commandments that were given to our nation of people, and the Lord will deliver us. That's the key right there. Their power is to use force, lies, death, murder, rape to gain their power. You know what ours is? The exact opposite, man. Don't lie. Don't steal. Don't rape. Don't murder. And the Lord will deliver you to earth, because Satan has given them the world. That's who's empowering them, is Satan. So, of course, everything wicked under the sun is what gives them their power. We are sons of the Most High. We are Yasharallah, princes of the power. Our power comes from the Lord. And that's how we gain our power. We talk about black power, man. You want to have black power? follow the laws of the Bible. Be righteous. Don't be wicked. And that's why a lot of brothers want to develop gangs, make drug cartels, because they said, well, that's how they came here. That's how the Italian mafia, they did all this crime and became legitimate, and now they're powerful people. We think we can follow these roads to success, and we find out time and time again, your black ass is going to jail. You're going 6 feet under the ground. You're going to end up using the damn drugs you were supposed to be selling. You're going to destroy your people because they know how they're getting power is to do it to us. We're getting power by doing it. We're trying to get power by doing it to us. The Chinese man says they're going to sell heroin to our people. We're the toilet of the earth. They're going to sell their cocaine to our people. We said we're going to come up by selling the cocaine to our people. What kind of sense does that make? They're able to do crime because they want to rob our people. They don't go around robbing each other. They come up by murdering us. We try to come up by murdering us. It don't make no sense, man. That's like I said, starting from the beginning, we're playing for the wrong team. And the only team there is to play is Israel. The Lord our God is one. There's only one God, it's one body, it's one baptism. You understand me? And that's why we need to realize this, that coming into the truth is the only way, and following that path is going to get us to where we need to be. All right? Wide is the gate to destruction, paraphrasing, but narrow is the path to righteousness. All right? And so that's all I got to say on that. If any brothers got anything else to bring out, they can go ahead. Let me see.
Block here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this brother Tully. So
go
I
ahead.
noticed in this class can you hear me?
I can hear you, Con.
Okay. I noticed in the class we've been kind of discussing, the lies that the white man tell. And we always see it kind of play out in situations that are firsthand. We had the Markham Jean situation, tried to lie out, weasel out of that one and kind of got caught right there firsthand in court, and it still didn't play out the way we thought it should as a nation of people. It's a new situation too, very recently. Well, I mean, I guess, I don't know if you heard about it, but the father and the son, the white men, basically got in the truck and chased the brother down that was jogging, 26 years old, hopped out the truck. The father got a .357 Magnum. The son got a shotgun. A shot goes off. The boy gets shots in the stomach. 2 other shots go off. They kill him.
Right.
They're saying that, the father and the son duo are saying that the boy, they thought he was a thief. That's something common we always hear amongst these people, man. These people are always saying we thought he was a thief. We thought he had stole something, no matter what. It's always something to do with some type of theft they want to tie in. And story goes on, they killed a gentleman. This happened in like February, I want to say, so it's not so much of a recent killing, but the father-son duo have been, pretty much walking free.
Right.
Just saying that, it was a citizen's arrest type of incident, and they let them go based upon this shit in that state. So now all of a sudden, within the past 2 days, a video has surfaced from somebody's cell phone.
Right.
And it shows the boy getting shot. It shows what they did, how they pulled up on him, hopped out, a shotgun went off. There's no struggle until after the shotgun goes off. But I mean, at that stage in the game, what are you doing? You're trying to save yourself. You didn't shot me.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I'm just, hearing this, and I'm like, it's kind of bothersome just to know that until we all get it together as a people, man, these things are going to happen, man. This is a part of the curses. This is how people should know we separated from everybody else. It's pretty blatant, man.
Right.
It's right there for you to see. Even if you read or heard just a little bit, there's no way to deny that curse. That Deuteronomy 28 is how you gonna say that's not you?
Right.
You know, or how you gonna say it's not your people? I mean, we're not. These things don't happen to any other race. So, you know, I don't know, man. Maybe the next class we could touch on that one. You know, because this is gonna be the next thing it's gonna be the next big thing for Black people. It might have been big right now, but due to this virus thing, you know, them people can't protest. They can't do anything but kind of sit at home on the information, which is real sad because, you know, like I said, things are kind of presenting themselves now. So now you know you're not going to get away with the murder, even though arrests haven't been made.
Right.
You know,
Go
ahead, Tazabah.
If I may, if the brother was done what we were saying, yeah, I've seen that. You know what I'm saying? That was horrible. And you know, right now the Lord is letting you know, waking people up and letting them know who their enemy is. You know what I'm saying? But another thing I want to say, you can expect the general on Black Watch to speak on that very situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you tune into the Black Watch, but Commander General Allen got a show on Mondays, and you know, he speaks on situations like that. So, you know what I'm saying? You can look forward to having him, our Commander General, speak on that situation.
Right.
That's all I want to say.
It's a lot.
Lucky, if I may.
Hold on, real quick. I'm one. Let me say something really quick to the brother. Yeah, what the brother was bringing out was real heavy, man. That's why I like this young brother, man. Young Tully, he's always bringing some good information. He got a good head on his shoulder, man. I want to see him getting that all black, man, and strap up them boots. But the point he was saying, it lines in. Also, I will bring this out too in the next class. I'm glad you brought that out. We can talk about this topic, learning about this brother in Georgia. But that example lines in perfectly with what I was saying tonight about knowing your enemy. Because what was the first thing they did? They said that they were trying to do a citizen's arrest, but in reality, they were committing a crime. They were blaming the victim and saying that he was fighting them when the camcorder came out and shows that they were hunting him down. Everything about a psychopath, those characteristics I was bringing out, is how these men were acting. And our people have believed this lie, and not to say it, but if you watch the interview of a lawyer, I think he was on the Breakfast Club, the black lawyer that was over the family of the brother that got killed, he said he was jogging in a white neighborhood. He was jogging in an area that's highly segregated. So those people never seen him before, and he never saw those people before. He had to believe in the lies of America. Because one, if he knew the truth, he would have stayed in his own area. We wouldn't have these areas where you're going and thinking you're free to just jog and everything is going to be okay. No, brother. You got to, like you said it yourself, Tully, we got to separate. Separation would have saved his life. If he was jogging amongst his own people, and I know what people are going to say, well, black people kill more black people. I mean, if all of us were on one accord, man, all of our people were rocking as one nation under these laws, you wouldn't see these murders in our neighborhood from our own people. And that brother would have been safe. He would have jogged by, and they would have said, oh, that's Ahmad. How you doing, Ahmad? How's your mama doing? How's your cousin doing? How's your auntie? And that would have been the end of that. Somebody would have been chasing him down. They would say, hey, man, you left your wallet at my house. That's what they would have chased him down for. Not to murder him down like a dog, man. So that's the key. So brothers like yourself, man, you have a responsibility because you know the truth. You knowing and learning this truth, you have a responsibility to your community to go out there and save another brother's life. Because maybe if you would have got to him, or another brother would have got to him, and he would have took heed to this truth that we bringing out, he would have been one step closer to us getting away from them, and one step closer to us building this nation and watching their nation fall, where they won't be able to put a finger on us. All right. And so go ahead, Armand. Bring out what you were saying, Salaki.
What he had said first was about Botham Jean. Now, that's a perfect example of Stockholm Syndrome. You know, even after they murdered the brother, you know, they loved the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? His family loved the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect example of Stockholm Syndrome. Well, you can't spell that out no clearer than, you know, straight Stockholm Syndrome. You know what I'm saying? We being oppressed by our oppressor, and then you still love your oppressor. You know what I'm saying? You still love, you know, don't understand, you know, why you even oppressed, but you know you still love the people that's you know having you in this state where, you know what I'm saying, they, even though they killed your family